Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has been coming to my channel. Like this video, share this video, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when I drop my next one. You guys, we are knee-deep into this Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni lawsuit, and let me say, there is a lot of details as we continue to read this that is quite alarming, in my opinion, to women that work in Hollywood and how they are treated on set. This case is definitely going to blow up. Again, this is part 11. We're about to read it. Like, share, subscribe, and please share your comments below. This is highly detailed and sad. Again, let's read this and let's go. During the TED Talk, Mr. Baldoni displayed numerous screenshots of media coverage of himself from various sources as examples of his decision to use his social platform as a kind of this Trojan horse wherein he could create a daily practice of authenticity and vulnerability. Mr. Baldoni then claimed, "The response has been incredible. It's been affirming. It's been heartwarming. I get tons of love and press and positive messages daily." Around the same time of that TED Talk, in 2017, Mr. Baldoni announced the launch of a male talk show through his media company, Wayfarer Entertainment, called Man Enough. Through that show, Mr. Baldoni sought to have public conversations on camera that he had never seen men have. In one episode of his show, Man Enough, Mr. Baldoni hosted a round table with really strong men, including Mr. Heath and others, in reaction to the Me Too movement, to collectively learn from each other, from experts, and hear firsthand from women, and try to figure out how we can be better allies in our response and in our actions. In the episode, Mr. Baldoni questions the groups. Who at this table has seen something and didn't say anything? I mean, objectification, harassment, and then not said anything? In 2021, the Man Enough franchise added a podcast also produced by Wayfarer and Studios. The Man Enough podcast has featured episodes entitled Strength and Unity, Men Supporting Women in Leadership, From Misogyny Victims to Male Privilege, and Modern Dating, Consent, Boundaries, and Respect. Mr. Baldoni stated in his 2017 TED Talk, "Men are the problem, they create the glass ceiling, and if they want to be part of the solution, then words are no longer enough." By Mr. Baldoni's account, he became a feminist fighting for gender equality so quickly that he hadn't even realized that's what he was trying to do. In Mr. Baldoni's own words, his activism started in the mirror with an audience of one. Mr. Baldoni has stated that he feels a deep responsibility to tear down the walls of power and privilege, and believe the world needs men to show up, not in big ways, but in hundreds and thousands of little ways, to create a better, more equitable, just world. Over the past approximately 7 years, and as relevant to this complaint, Mr. Baldoni has made the following statements. A. Let's just shut up and finally listen to the women in our lives. B. Men are going to have to start doing it now is recognizing when they make women uncomfortable and didn't realize it. I think that's when the other side of the Me Too movement is, I'm sorry. C. Growing up, how many times did I hear bros before garden tools? How demeaning, how sexist. We've built this system, the opposite of accountability, and now it's time to figure out how, as men, we can break that system. And it starts with showing what a real man is. A real man is someone that says, hey man, we're still friends, but that's not cool. D. Imagine being SA'd, finally coming forward about this traumatic thing that has happened to you and having people acting like you were to blame. E. It's important for us men to realize how crucial a role of bystanders can play in stopping and preventing SA as well as harassment. How we must be a part of the movement and call for respect and equality for women. Act upon that call to action and continue to perpetrate positive behaviors among ourselves and our community. F. Are you confident enough to listen to the women in your life? And will you be man enough to stand up to other men when you hear locker room talk, when you hear stories of SA? All of us have a situation or a pattern that we need to end the cycle of. G. H. First of all, I want men to stop asking the questions. Why do women stay? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. There's never an excuse, no matter how much trauma a man has. There's never an excuse to lay hands or hurt a woman physically or emotionally. And we have to also understand that the majority of DV isn't physical. These are the scars. They're invincible. These are things that, is emotional, it's gaslighting, it's all the various things that so many people experience. J. I think we judge enough women and victims, but the question is, why do we keep allowing men to harm? In sum, of Mr. Baldoni has crafted a public image of himself as not just an ally, but also a fierce advocate for women. Contrary to this image as set forth in details above, Mr. Baldoni has spent the last several months and significant resources on his goal of wanting to bury and destroy Ms. Blake Lively for raising concerns about his and his CEO's harassing behavior and other disturbing conduct. Section G. Ms. Blake Lively, her family, and her business has suffered and has been substantially harmed by the Wayfarer party's conduct. While there was considerable online coverage of the film and Blake Lively's leading up to the film's nationwide release in U.S. theaters on August 9th of 2024, that coverage was mostly neutral. Some online discussions reference an apparent feud between the cast members, but they included a smaller percentage of negative and positive mentions. Soon after, Blake Lively and her team became aware of an increase in negative media articles and social media coverage about her. The significant spike in the volume of negative sentiments toward Blake Lively included notable spikes on approximately August 8th and 14th of 2024 and continued to trend mostly negative for the remainder of 2024 as listed in this chart. Indeed, as noted above, TAG itself noted a shift due to their efforts as early as August 10th of 2024. As of that date, the sentiment toward Ms. Lively turned toxic with a sudden increase in negative comments, including hyper-adult content and calls for Blake Lively to go F herself. Nearly decades-old interviews of Blake Lively were surfaced, commenting on her tone, her posture, her diction, and her language. Blake Lively was criticized for how she was marketing the film. She repeatedly was called a bully, a mean girl, and controlling, and was criticized for allegedly marginalizing Mr. Baldoni, among other things. Articles which members of TAG and JonesWorks teams working on behalf of Mr. Baldoni and Wayfair credited themselves with influencing, dissected Blake Lively and contemplated her cancellation. On information and belief, the Wayfair team seeded social media content into publications with small audiences and lax editorial standards, and then fed those posts and or articles to publications like Page 6, Newsweek, New York Post, TMZ, and BuzzFeed. These publications have larger audiences and greater reach, which significantly amplified the negative sentiment toward Blake Lively's. Content from low-influence sites was often linked or referenced in articles on these high-profile platforms. We are going to end section 11 right here as we continue to read what happened with Blake Lively's social media manipulation complaints. And then I will come back with chapter 12. Thank you for joining me for chapter 11 of the reading of this lawsuit. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, be safe. Enjoy your day. Bye, guys.